Hello everyone and welcome to this week's Tools for Frontline staff meeting, following on from our session a fortnight ago where Dr. Khan came to talk about vaccination and other ways to keep well in the winter. This session is focused on the different offers of support in the community through the colder months. We've got 4 speakers today. We have Chinazo from Crew Energy to talk about how to reduce your energy consumption and save money on your bills. We have Lucy and Gemma from Hackney Quest to talk about the warm welcome they've been hosting at Frampton Park Baptist Church for a few years. That's on every Monday. We have Krista from CoHub to talk about their new initiative, Rough Street. And we have Emma from Hackney Libraries to talk about the offer of libraries. The libraries can support you through the winter. Claire from Volunteers Centre Hackney had to send her apologies. She was going to talk about the Together Better programme in GPs, but hopefully we can hear from Claire in a future meeting. It's quite a busy agenda today for this meeting, so I'm going to be quite strict on timings and have 15 minutes per speaker. With that, I'll pass to Chinazo. Chinazo, do you want me to present the slides, or have you got them available for yourself?
If you could present it, that would be super helpful.
Absolutely.
But if not, otherwise.
I'll get that up now.
Thank you.
Bear with me, it's just opening the file.
Perfect. I think it's all loaded. So thank you, Charlie. Hello, everyone. If you don't know me already, my name is Chinazo. I'm from Crew Energy. I'm one of the senior energy advisors, effectively kind of doing a coordination of the energy advice in Hackney. Crew, we're based, CIC that's based in Wandsworth, and we've, I think, pretty much year and a half or so, we've been out in Hackney, trying our best to engage with residents and provide some much needed and requested advice in my experience of working in Hackney so far. So hopefully today I can just give you a bit of breakdown of what's available, what's practical for residents, and where we can take it from there. So yeah, thank you, Charlie. So yeah. So effectively, we are funded by UK Power Networks, which is the distribution network for your electricity, and we've received that funding for the last 2 years, so that does finish in April. So that is effectively to run events at local groups to just promote energy advice and talk to residents to see how we can help. In addition to that, we have a small portion where we can do home energy visit just for deeper interventions, deeper conversations with residents, which obviously a lot of residents really like and benefit from, because we can really take our time to see what the issue is. And as of recent, through kindly from Hackney, we've piloted a telephone advice service through the HSF fund as well. So again, just to extend the service, more conversation and see what's happening with the residents. So just as an introduction, for those who are not aware of fuel poverty, as of last year, there was estimated about 11% of households in fuel poverty in England. I personally don't even think that figure is accurate. I think it's a lot higher, to be honest. And we are in a position where we've got this squeeze middle where people, even though they're working full-time jobs, are still facing the crunch when it comes to keeping warm in their energy bills. Despite the various definitions, myself, I tend to see what I can observe. So just here, it just effectively says what you might sense, what you might notice, and what someone might tell you. Of course, across all your work as well, you're probably getting these same indications, but it's what I like to kind of share with people, to things to look out for in regards to people that might be potentially fuel poor. But yeah, I'll explore some of the advice and support we're currently providing. Next. So effectively, type of support at the moment is broken down to these three parts. So we've got soft measures, so behavioural change. So that's either in person or personal property, just looking how they're really using really. So it goes from examples, people might be using electric blow heaters and just kind of telling them the impact that's having on their bills, the way, I don't know, they might be shower or consuming other devices in the property, having those conversations and just understanding how they use it really and how we can reduce that and for them to be more efficient. So there's a host of tips that we give people in person and through either at home or over the phone. Also, the next part of it is just to provide kind of low cost hard measures, so to speak. So that is the likes of the LED light bulbs, draft excluders, radiator foils for the radiators as well. And we can also explore things just like looking at the heating controls, making sure those are on the correct settings, boiler flow temperatures, getting those down, because effectively, and I always come across this, that the boilers are at max temperatures, your 75s, your 80s, and if for the best efficiency, it needs to be at 60, and that can save anything between 8 or 10% of their yearly bill, just taking that down. So those are some of the measures we look at. And then nextly is just their bills. So seeing what tariffs they're on effectively. As you're probably well aware, the price cap is forever changing. So ensuring they're on things like fixed tariffs, any social tariffs that they might be eligible for, and seeing if there's any kind of income maximization, whether there's any grants or vouchers that they might be eligible for that we can apply for and put towards their bill effectively. Cool. So here is just some kind of standardized tips that we give residents that I think applies to most people, no matter what type of property they're living in. As you can see what it says there, cooking, lighting and other appliances only account for 20%, but then that 20% is normally what they have full control of and what they can really manage. So again, just things like shortening their showers, all these tips, they do sound simple, but when you do ask people, they do generally say, oh yeah, I do spend 10 minutes in the shower. And so just explaining that these things do incrementally do add up and add to the cost to your bill effectively. So shortening your shower, reducing the washing machine cycle and changing the temperatures can help. That goes a long way for, I don't know, people that have young children and they're often washing, or people that have someone that has a disability in the household and requires a lot of washing, just adjusting those temperatures as well, or the time spent washing the clothes or settings also goes a long way. And just simple things like only using a amount of water, boiling a kettle as well. Little things that they can control. If anything, it's just making sure they're empowered and they know that they can have action on their consumption effectively. So then here's just a quick picture just demonstrating kind of where the heat loss is in the property. And as you can see, walls and roof is the most or the highest percentage of where the heat loss goes. But effectively, most people can't control their walls, most people can't control their roofs, all depending on what type of property they're living in. So what I like to focus is on the practical things, and the most practical things people can change and can have influence on is their windows and their doors. So in regards to windows, I'm often finding people have double glazing in the property, but there's still drafts coming in. So things like draft strips, having thermal curtains in place, applying secondary glazing on the windows do go a long way to containing that draft. There is, I mean, we try to look to see if there's any small grants sometimes that can help go towards these costs. We do, of course, provide the draft excluders, no problem at all. Some people are happy to purchase it themselves as well. But these little things do go a long way in just improving their thermal comfort in the home. And the same thing with the doors as well. Just again, if they can put some sort of thick curtain in the front door, and draft stripping the side of the door, the keyholes, the letterbox brushes as well, goes a long way in kind of improving their thermal comfort in the home, and again, something they can control in the property. Cool. And then here it says, space and water heating can cost up to 50% of the energy bill. So just switching on the heating and having a shower does have a huge majority there. So again, these are just some of the measures that we can fit when we do a home visit. So whether that is the reflective foil, the rack flex behind the radiator, they say about 41% of the heat when you do have the radiator is going through the walls, or just heating the walls itself. So this kind of foil does help reflect that back in. And again, applying things like draft proofing to the windows. A lot of residents, they were in the Victorian properties with the sash windows, and they get very gappy, very leaky. So we can put the draft proof in there. And I've been quite shocked to find that a lot of people still have the old incandescent light bulbs in their properties. They've just had it. Maybe they can't change it themselves, or they've just left it. But again, changing the light bulbs from 100 watts or 60 watts to 8 watts is obviously going to go a long way as well in terms of reducing their cost and consumption. Cool. So a few updates in terms of, the space of fuel poverty. As you're probably aware through your own bills, the price cap rose by 2% in October, in this month. So typical household is likely to spend 1,755 a year. Again, I don't really think that's reflective of what I normally see. People are paying up to £200 for one and a half bedroom flats. So effectively, this is where tariffs and fixing your tariff is becoming increasingly more important, and ensuring that people are not on variable tariffs, which I'll come on to the next slide. And then the second update is just in regards to the warm home discount as well. So last year, the warm home discount was very, very restrictive because it took into consideration the energy performance of the property, as well as if the person was on a mean tested benefit. Of course, pretty much 85% of social housing will be a C and above, so will be considered energy efficient. So a lot of people missed out. So that has now been removed, and people should be getting that discount regardless of what energy performance of the property. So my main point here is just to check with residents that are on mean tested benefit that they have received a letter or some sort of confirmation that they're going to get the discount. And like it says here, if they don't have a letter by January, I would say probably December, to be fair, because I know people that have already been paid this discount, just for them to chase that up and contact the warm home discount line directly, just to say, I'm receiving mean tested benefit, I should be getting a discount, and hopefully they can add them onto the list, so to speak, and get that paid to them as well. Cool. And then in terms of energy tariffs, just going back to it, a lot of people that I speak to or visit, they're on variable tariffs, so they're subject and at the mercy of the price cap. Often enough, they were on a fixed tariff before, but they don't realize that that has switched and gone back to the default tariff. So just again, double checking, if someone comes to you and say, oh, my bill was suddenly increased quite high, it might be due to the price cap, it might be due to consumption. We don't know. We can obviously investigate and find that out, but essentially we want to get them on some sort of fixed tariff. There's two variations, so you can get a dual fuel or online tariff as well. And of course, being on a dual fuel or online tariff is going to work out cheaper than paying on receipt of bill. A lot of older customers, they do prefer that, but if we can encourage them to get onto those online tariffs, so to speak, that would be helpful in terms of reducing the bill, but it's completely understandable if they're not. And then prepayment is obviously a bit restrictive in terms of the tariffs available. It is most likely going to be at the rate of the price cap. But there is sometimes some flash deals that come where it might be a little bit cheaper, but we are pretty much on the default tariff when it comes to that. But like I said, we do have support in terms of applying for fuel vouchers to help people on prepayment. So of course, something else that we can look at for residents as well. Cool. Here again, you might be getting residents coming to you in terms of arrears and long-standing debt on the account. One thing I like to notify people about is the back billing rule. So as part of Ofgem's licensing conditions, suppliers cannot seek any unbilled payment, which is more than 12 months. So that's normally a situation where someone says, I haven't received a bill in that period of time, or any notification that they're going to be billed in that time. And then all of a sudden they receive this big bill, which of course they don't know how to pay for, how to manage, and it's very stressful. We can go back to the supplier and say, look, you have not contacted them in due time. So therefore the bill should start from today effectively. And a lot of residents of course are not aware of that, but it's something to just be aware of when you're faced with a lot of arrears. Of course, there's a host of different reasons why people might be arrears. They might not just be paying, but in the situation where they just haven't received the bill, we can look at that back billing rule effectively. And just to note as well that there is available trust funds that we can apply for through the different suppliers. Some are more successful than others, and rule of thumb, British Gas tend to be a lot more responsive, and they also serve the other suppliers as well, but they do have a caveat where you have to seek help from your supplier in the first place before applying to them as well. But just to note that these funds are available as well. Water price hikes. I think most people's bills has probably gone up by 15% or so. So again, just ensuring that if people fall into these categories, which I'll go over very quickly, the water help scheme, which if someone's water bill is more than 5% of their household income, they can get 50% off. Water Sure, where if there's 3 or more children in the house, or anyone requires extra water because of a medical condition, they can get their water bill capped, and a single person's discount. If someone is unable to get a meter at a property and it's just themselves living there, they can also get their water bill capped as well. But if those are the scenarios that people are facing up and they're not on these discounts, that we make sure they are, because water is increasingly increasing, and they are eligible for that. And the good thing about all of these schemes is once they're on there, they don't have to reapply again. So they'll continue to get that discount as well. And I'll say now is pretty a good time if someone isn't on it to apply for it, because we can get the discount for this current year and in anticipation of the next financial year as well. Brilliant. And then we've got boiler flow temperature, which I mentioned before, about just looking at someone's boiler and checking what the flow temperature is. Long story short, effectively running at a higher temperature is almost like over revving a car. So effectively the capacity of the radiator is about 60 degrees. So there's no point having it at 70 or 80 degrees. So reducing that will go a long way in reducing their gas usage and still maintaining the same thermal comfort that they will have coming through their radiators as well. Brilliant. And then these are just a few other schemes or kind of organizations that we use to help us support the residents. So obviously I've mentioned the warm home discount before. We've got Let's Talk Energy Fund. That's a tool that we use for effectively applying for white goods for residents. We've also got Lightning Reach, which is a tool we use to fill in the customer's details, so the residents' details with the circumstances, and it kind of signposts to different organizations, charities that might be able to give them extended funding. Most time for me, I'm applying for whether they need a new sofa, white goods, of course, or just maybe there's something, a repair in the house that they can't afford, we see if we can apply for a small pot of funding to help to go towards that. Thames Water Trust Fund, again, we use that to help apply for white goods. In addition, I think they also provide beds for residents as well. Winter fuel payment, that's an automatic payment that goes to those pensioners on pension credit as well. But again, just sometimes there is some discrepancies, so just making sure if they are eligible that they are getting that. And Turn to Us, again, another tool that just helps us identify local organizations or charities specific to that resident that we may be able to get some extra funding for them as well. Cool. And then just for the scenarios where you might be helping residents that are homeowners, just to make you aware that there is some funding for some larger improvements. The success rate of this is yet to be seen for some of these funds, but just in the instances where you have residents who have boilers that are broken down, they may be able to get it replaced via Eco 4, and also get things like insulation through the Great British Insulation Scheme as well, or the boiler upgrade scheme. If they are interested in renewables, they could potentially get a grant towards that as well. And there is the Warm Homes local grant as well, which has its own specifics, but that's also a fund that's out there at the moment as well. Brilliant, thank you. How was I for time?
You were 2 minutes over, but we'll forgive you for that.
Sorry.
That's fine. Does anyone have one question for Chinaza? I'm conscious that we do have quite a few presentations to get to, but if anyone's got anything burning they'd like to ask, Krista?
Actually really relevant today, because I saw a guy with quite a tricky case to do with fuel poverty today. So one, I wanted to ask, do you have those slides in like a visual poster form that we could maybe display in our centres? I found that there was quite a lot of really useful information in there. So if you could share the slides for people like me that give out IAG, it's just good to know about all the resources available for our residents. But if you've got like an A3 version of a poster that you could show people, things like that, maybe that would be really good and we can get it up. Quick question on I don't know, maybe this actually, can you touch base with me after and we'll go through it, because I've got like a bit of a complex case. A gentleman who hasn't got a mobile, won't have a smart meter, homeless guy now in permanent housing, but he wants to be on a paid tariff with no standing charge. It was about the standing charge being more expensive than the usage. So if we could touch base afterwards, maybe, or tomorrow at some point by email, we can have a conversation to help the resident. That'd be great. Thank you.
Yeah,
I'll introduce you over email. We've got both Hackney Quests. People have got their hands up. Lucy, do you want to come in?
Yeah, I was just going to say that I've made quite a few referrals to Chinazo, and it's a brilliant service that you offer. So thank you.
Well, thank you.
Gemma, were you going to say something similar?
I was going to second that. Yeah. Yeah, I think you must get tired of all my emails. Can you help with this one? But I was also going to ask, just thinking about the back pay of the bills, I've got a case in mind. Is there any, do you advise, if I was to discuss that case with you, could you kind of advise, because that's something I would like to know more about, but
yeah, definitely.
Okay, great. Thank you.
And finally, Marcella, do you want to come in? I think I know what you're going to speak about, but then we'll move on to the next presentation after you've spoken.
Yeah, thank you. I'll be very quick. I think just to say also thank you for all the community partners that have worked with us with the energy advice service. Of course, crew has been absolutely incredible, but we wouldn't be able to reach the residents that we reach without actually you as partners. So we just want to say thank you so much for actually opening your spaces, because when we're running sessions in libraries, for example, the HSC, we don't get the same traction of engagement and also the same level of cases, you know, people who really need in these more public spaces, they don't share as much. So we want to say thank you. But one thing I wanted to say is that we are looking for more funding to deliver more of this work, but we have a bit of funding potentially to start training people up to help deliver this in partnership with Crew. They will be doing some of the training and onboarding you as like a paid work. It's not volunteering work. So if in your organizations there are people who would be up for this kind of work, who would be interested in doing some extra bit of paid work, we would really like to hear from them and from you. We don't know how many people we're talking, and we don't know what the level of work is, but things like helping coordinate the schedule is the vouchers that Chinaza said that we can apply for residents, that because of workload, we don't promote these things widely because we just can't process them. So yeah, I just wanted to say it's something to think about. We haven't developed a job description or anything like that, but we're not asking for volunteers. We are saying we would like to find local people in Hackney that really deeply care about communities, because the energy staff, Crew Energy, can train you up, that then can help us move this work forward. So yeah, thank you. And keep an eye out, because we'll have some more energy kits for this winter that will include like radiator key and bits like this. And we'll work with Crew to get some little videos that help residents learn how to use those tools. So it's not completely sitting in a box in people's homes. But yeah, thank you.
Fab, thank you, Marcella. Thank you for the questions. I'm going to be a taskmaster today and move us on to the next presentation. That's Lucy and Gemma from Hackney Quest. Do you want me to present the slides, or would you like to present them yourselves?
I think it would be a good idea for you to do them.
I will do them. Okay.
Mind. Brilliant, thank you. So yeah, we're just going to talk a little bit about the Hackney Quest warm space that was established in October 2022, and it runs every Monday from 1:30 till about 3 o'clock, and it runs out of Frampton Park Baptist Church. The reason we started it off was largely due to the funding offered by Hackney Council, and it was quite a nice fit because we were already running our community meal, which has been running out of Frampton Park Baptist Church for many years. So it was a nice fit that people could stay on after the meal and have longer in a nice warm environment. So we've just got a little video just to try and give you an idea of what it looks like and what the atmosphere is like. If you wouldn't mind playing that, Charlie, hopefully it'll work. Thank you. So yeah, that gives you an idea of where we host it, and the meal is really busy. We probably have about, I mean, we can have up to 60 people coming to the meal, and then the warm space, we would normally have about 10 to 20 people staying onto that. And it tends to be mostly people that have attended the meal, but sometimes we'll have other people joining, especially if we're running some other activities. Gemma will talk a bit more about the kind of things that they do in the warm space. But yeah, that's it for that slide. We are part of Warm Welcome, and I saw Krista's part of that as well. this week. So yeah, we're registered as a warm welcome, so anybody can go onto that website and find the Hackney Quest warm space running out of Frampton Park Baptist Church, and it is open access. Nobody needs to register, they can just turn up. And it is, I mean, it's for all ages. Typically it's the older demographic that we get, but we do get some younger people attending as well. And that's it for that one. And I think, Gemma, you're going to talk a bit about the kind of activities we're running.
Yes, so generally the residents are happy just to kind of sit and have a space to keep warm and just chat amongst themselves. Dominoes seems to be particularly popular, and they can get quite competitive, so we leave them to that, and they seem to enjoy that very much. And then alongside that, we offer teas and coffees and biscuits. We are really fortunate to have a great team of people from the Here to Help through Hackney Council who attend once a month. It tends to be on the second Monday of the month, but that does vary. And then we offer that as a drop-in, but also it tends to be quite popular, so I do have to, on occasions, give them an appointment time to kind of keep it a bit more managed. And then we have had Hackney School of Food who have come in to do slow cooker demonstrations, which has been really beneficial, because then at Hackney Quest we have had a prolonged workshop where they've been able to do classes for is it 3 weeks, Lucy? They do 3 sessions?
Yeah, they do 3 consecutive weeks at Hackney School of Food, basically learning how to use the slow cooker, and then they get to keep that slow cooker at the end of it. So yeah, so the demonstration is really good to kind of get people aware of how to use it, because we are informed that it's the most efficient way of cooking, but it's also a good way to promote those workshops. We've had Immediate Theatre Show come in and do some fantastic performances, which is really, really popular. We find that we have a real surge of residents for those. The fantastic team at Crew Energy, they have supported us and come in to deliver workshops and drop-in sessions so the residents can speak to them on a one-to-one basis, which is really helpful. We've had Katie from Talking Therapies come in and do general workshops around wellbeing, but more specifically, we've organised one around sleep for people that are struggling with that. So we're looking forward to having them back. And then we had Inspiring Fitness, who did another exercise class after lunch, and that again increased numbers. We saw more people attending that, so that was great. And we also had one for males, and that brought new people into Frampton Park Church, so that was fantastic. And then the work that Lucy and I do, which I'll talk a little bit more about in a second, we have, because I attend the community lunch, I'm there for drop-ins for people to kind of share any issues that they're having, and an opportunity to promote our work in that way. So these are just some of the quotes from members of our community. So I won't read through them. I'll just give you a couple of minutes or a couple of moments to read those yourself. So it's always lovely to have positive feedback. I was just going to highlight one there, Gemma, that we did ask. Gemma asked some of them recently what they'd do if it closed, and they said they'd be very sad because we won't have anywhere to go and we'd miss our friends.
So it just goes to show how valuable having the warm space is. Yeah. Okay, thank you. So Lucy and I thought it'd be worthwhile just using this opportunity to share with you the other work that we do at Hackney Quest. The community lunch and the warm space is just one small element, one that we can target a lot of residents through, especially with the community lunch. But yeah, we work with a much wider number within the community through the youth work. So we have Youth Club, which is run by our fantastic Janita. She does an incredible job, and they can join from the age of 8. And then Marisa is in charge of the volunteering and mentoring. So we've got a fantastic one-to-one mentoring scheme where young people are assigned a volunteer who they meet with, preferably weekly, and we see that that has a great impact on them. We have employability on a Tuesday evening. We work with young adults from the age of 16, and they can come for help with CV writing, finding jobs, interview practice. Bella has a fantastic network of businesses and organisations to kind of set young adults up with them, and it's just kind of giving them that help with the first stepping stone. Family and education support. We've got 2 great members of our team who work like outreach support with the families, connecting everybody together, which is invaluable. And then you've got the work that Lucy and I do, the hardship support, where our main role is to maximise income, but we do find that people come with all kinds of issues and concerns and worries and things they're struggling with. So a large part of our work is signposting people to the right organisations if we can't help firsthand, such as Crew Energy, and using Turn to Us. So we generally start with benefit checks, help them with applications if there are any benefits they're not getting. If they're in need of white goods, we do applications for those. Yes, so we turn our hand to most things, and if we can't help directly, then we source that help from elsewhere to make sure everybody's getting the best support that we can possibly offer. So we're a great team, and I'm very fortunate to work for Quest. So yeah, we just thought it was helpful because if you have anybody in mind that you feel would benefit from our services, any of those listed, or if you think of anything else that we could possibly help with, just drop us an email or a call, and then we will do our best to help. And just, yeah, thank you very much for listening. And if there are any questions, just let us know.
I would say that every resident in Hackney knows about the Curry Club at Frampton on a Monday. The community lunch and warm space is very popular. And also, if anyone doesn't know about Hackney School of Food, the residents love their courses. Like, they're very, very good, brilliant organisation. I absolutely second what Lucy and Gemma said, because we hear back from the residents as well. And the slow cooker course and the other one that they do, the 4-week or 6-week one that they did, super popular. Residents loved it. So yeah, more of that would be great.
The slow cooker course that we ran as well, we didn't say that was completely free to residents, and they got their slow cooker at the end, and we even were able to help with travel costs if they needed it, which was good.
Thanks for such a great presentation. It's great to I've visited, I agree, it's a great space, and it's great to see it kind of made alive in a presentation too. I was just wondering if there's anything you feel like you've learned about kind of holding that space for residents to be in there for that kind of period over the last 3 years, like any observations about kind of what makes a space feel really welcoming? What is it that you guys do that you think that keeps people coming back and making them, I mean, I know the reviews are there, but what do you think it is about your approach that kind of helps that happen?
I think it's because they come along, and they, it is really social and everybody is welcome, and we try to make people welcome, and the residents that come as well, they will always be very welcoming to new people, encourage them to come and sit with them, and you know, they've made real lasting friendships, you know, and they'll go off. Actually, we didn't the Warm Club was poorly attended a couple of weeks ago because the people that come, it's independently organised a cinema trip, so they all went off to the cinema. Actually, you might want to.
Did they tell you? Did you just?
No, they told us
where
on
everyone
the
was?
day. But that, you know, how brilliant is that? That because of the warm space, they were then organising a cinema trip. And Gemma, do you want to mention the trip that you're planning to organise, or is that too early to?
No, absolutely. I was going to say, I think it's just the people that make it. I just think they're absolutely amazing. They just fill me with joy thinking about them, and it's such a positive environment. I just think that in itself is just so welcoming. We're so fortunate that we've never, touch wood, had any issues. I just feel everybody feels relaxed, and although we offer these extra things, it's not so regular that we I just think it's the relaxed environment, and they can just kind of sit and natter. I think that's what they're happy doing, but they're also equally open to the other things that we do bring in. And
I think also just knowing that there's always a space there every week, you know, because if you're trying to meet up with friends, things get cancelled, but that's always there, you know. They can always come on a Monday. That's where they can go, and they will find people to chat to, and they will find some help if they need some help. And you don't get that many places. So
the trip that Lucy was talking about, I just wanted to bring as many of them together in one space. So I've booked quite a large number of tickets to see Cinderella at Hackney Empire at the end of November to kind of, bring the festive joy. So they were really generous and gave us very discounted tickets. So we've got lots to sell, and the residents all seem very excited. I'm looking forward to that very much.
How apt for a winter theme session. That's great to hear.
Yeah.
Abby, do you have one final question before we move on to the next presentation?
Yeah, that's wonderful. I've got a question, maybe a connection. I'll start with the connection because I remember being at Hope Morningside for the lunch session that Nicolette was running a couple years ago, maybe now. And they were doing the chair fitness, and I was there a bit early, so got to do a little bit with them and field some questions. And one of the questions was about whether there could be any sort of support to organize a cinema trip. So I was just thinking, maybe someone at Hope Morningside would be interested in learning about the discount tickets, or the people who are there at their lunch sessions might be interested in learning about that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I hadn't heard about the slow cooker courses from Hackney School of Food. Was that it's an open access for the meal and the warm space? With those courses, was it benefits? Was it means tested at all? What was the eligibility for getting access to that course?
I mean, that was one that was run by Hackney Quest. So we basically partnered with Hackney School of Food, and it was part of our funding from Cadence, who fund us. So we were mainly getting the people to sign up. It wasn't means tested, but typically the people we put it out to, you know, we knew that they're you know, they're not flush. So we had about sort of 10 to 15 spaces on the course, and then they signed up to it. So it was a sign up thing. It wasn't a drop in, and they did need to commit to the three classes, which I mean, people were happy to do. It was a really nice thing to do on a Thursday afternoon. And they got to use the garden as well, going to pick some of the fresh vegetables in the garden and the herbs. It was just really, really, really nice. So we are running another one in February. So we will have another 15 spaces to offer come February.
Exciting stuff. Thank you very much, both of you. I'm going to move us on to the next presentation, but thank you again for the time and thank you for sharing that lovely presentation with us about the space. Krista, you're up next. Do you want me to present, or have you got your slides ready?
I definitely would like you to present, please, because it's horrible presenting on Google Meets because you can't see anybody. So,
All right,
yeah,
good thing. I'll
see
get that up.
people at least this way. Yeah, I think I might actually be quicker for once today. How about that? Actually, just leads me on quite nicely to your lot's trip. So my residents have come up with the whole idea to have a day trip to France. Can I get a coach? We can all chip in, they said today. So yeah, can we go to Mars maybe by next week? I don't know, but yeah, I left residents Googling coach companies today in the hub. They were on a little mission. So yeah, it's lovely to see when you see stuff like that come out of the friendships that forge from isolated people in the community as well, when they start off isolated. Super excited that's a bit small, Charlie.
It's PDF, so I'm struggling with it a bit. Is that better, or is that zoomed in too much?
No, I can't see that at all. That I can just see my title.
Charlie, yeah, basically it's not coming up as a presentation in the center. Everyone's picture is still on the screen, as well as the presentation in a little corner. So I don't know. There's some way of formatting. Yeah.
Give me a tick. All right.
Off the back of that, I can lead in actually before we talk about Rough Street. I'm really excited that this is news to everybody. I'm bringing it to the meeting today, actually. So Charlie, you're probably going to be one of the first person I would have told, you and Jen and John. But I secured a grant today that I put in for delivery next Christmas of all times, December 2026. But we have secured a grant to bring a big homeless Christmas lunch to Hackney again, because Crisis have not been doing it for years now, and residents are going everywhere outside the borough. And obviously all these amazing volunteering projects that deliver community lunches all the time, they have to have time off with their family. They're all volunteers. So we have secured a £5 pocket to deliver an entire Christmas lunch next Christmas, on Christmas Day. I'm very lucky my kids have grown up. No one ever cooks for me, so I'm going to surrender for the day and go and just do a bit of work for the day with everybody. I'm really looking forward to it. So it's a nice launch, because it's a soft launch with it today off the back of the Rough Street thing. And I'm so excited that we're able to bring this back to Hackney. So all of that, Lucy, all of our local partners that we work with, you've got isolated residents, they'll all be able to come to this lunch, which is like super cool. Can you get it? Can it work, Charlie? Is it not? I think the lunch is going to be for 200 as well. So
I'll try it one time, Krista, and then if it's not great for me, it might be better trying from your end.
I can just talk if you want. Just say what it is. Worst case. I don't know if I can open mine. Let me see if I can open mine. Hold on.
Is that any better? Is that any bigger?
Yeah, that looks better. Yeah, that looks better. Thank you. Okay, so welcome back to Rush Street at the Co-Hub. Thank you very much to Lucy, our buddies, and Gemma, our very close friends at Hackney Quest, for mentioning that we are also now a warm space. So I need to add it actually onto the logo, onto everything myself. We are a warm space 5 days a week at the Co-Hub. The whole model that we designed, the residents designed with me, was that it was wraparound support any day of the week. So people can come to our hub any day of the week, join into activities, maybe not join into activities. They can sit down with a book and a cup of tea and charge their phones if they want, or they can get involved with Tai Chi or whatever's happening on the day. So it's a 5 day a week service at the New Kingshold, where we're based. Rush Street is a separate project, which if you go on to the next slide, please, Charlie, or scroll down a bit, please. Thank you. So over the last couple of years, through my previous roles before I opened my own thing up, I've built very trusted relationships and had a lot of practical experience with working with the homeless community and the rough sleeping community, alongside amazing local services. So we've got some really strong partnerships in place. Last year's pilot that we did, Rush Street store, which was on the Narrowway with the Brunch Bunch guys from the Steps project that I used to work on. They designed this store. It was their idea. We had clear demand that just increased week on week, and we culminated with an amazing Christmas event at the council. Charlie was there, bless him, worked till 6 o'clock that night. It was an amazing end of year event. So the pilot was to pilot it. Would it work? We definitely saw that it did work. We know that services for all communities in the VCS sector are probably running at quite a minimum at the moment, but the rough sleeping community is absolutely less than minimum in Hackney. There's no shower boxes available. The nearest shower box is Islington or Bermondsey. I think they might be putting one back in Stratford. Crisis community lunches on Christmas Day, none in Hackney. There's only the Hackney Night Shelter, which does an amazing job, and that's about it. And bits of here, sort of pockets of the council here, pockets of service there. There's not really a sort of collaborative, connected map of services to this community. So me securing the space, one of the first things that my residents said is, can we bring Rough Street back? They were absolutely adamant that can we do this again. Very fortunately, we're able to now do it in an indoor space, so I won't be rained on for the whole winter, which is absolutely marvellous. Next slide, please, Charlie. I think I flew for like 7 months last year. So our objectives, the flyer is now out. You'll see them at libraries. There were libraries, Greenhouse, Turning Point, Irene Mind, Swim, Crisis Caf, A&E, main reception at the hospital. They're going out sort of everywhere this week. They're sort of landing. There's 2,000 going out across the borough. If anybody would like any hard copies, please just let me know, or a digital copy. I'm more than happy to share, or we'll get volunteers to drop them down. We were funded by Turning Point. I applied for a Project Innovation Fund grant for this. A very small pocket, if I want to be honest, one of the smallest grants we've been awarded, probably one of the biggest passion projects. So the smallest amount, but the biggest outcome is from, and personally sort of my own, I'm really sort of excited about doing this again. So our objectives this year, now we're sort of able to make it bigger and better, which we're even more delighted about. We've got the community connection side, which is all the warmth, refreshments, Wi-Fi, tablets, phone charging stations, stuff like that, arts and craft, puzzle books, all that kind of stuff. There'll be tables that people can sit together, or there'll be corners where people can just chill maybe and be by themselves and have their own time. But also we've got the practical support, so they'll be able to get IAG on the day, sexual health outreach. We partnered up with Positive East again, with Glow-G for the stop smoking stuff. We've got, who's the other one I did, oh, my brain's gone now. We did another one that's coming in. There's various different partnerships coming in to work with us and deliver services or ideas, or we've got vaccines coming in, all different stuff. So if anyone's got anything that they think they would like to come along, please let us know. We got funded for 15 sessions, but I'm wrapping it up on 20 because I just feel like that's a nice time to end it at the end of April. Beginning of April is a new fiscal year, etc. So we're able to actually deliver 20 sessions, which I'm pleased. So it's 5 more. They'll have all the cost of living support, warm clothing, bedding, tents, all that kind of stuff, blankets, waterproofs. So if anyone has got any resources that they can supply to us or would like us to give out to our weekly sessions, please get them down. We've got space to store stuff, so please let me know, reach out, any kind of partnerships. Like, as many people that want to come and get their things out to this community, you're more than welcome. We're very collaborative at the hub. Next slide, please, Charlie. So what we're going to offer, I've just kind of gone through that again, so I won't go over it. Charlie can share the slides in a little bit more detail. A couple of our residents that we have worked with. So it's open and free all the time. The Thursday morning sessions that are on every week. The reason we did it on a Thursday is because our community lunch is on a Thursday. We have a big lunch with Food Cycle every Thursday at the hub. So it made sense that the residents could access the warmth and the security and everything they needed and support in the morning, and then get a hot cooked meal before they left for the day. Great partnership that Food Cycle's already really full up in there, so we're going to feed them in our hall. So we've already worked out how it's going to work. We've supported by all the volunteers, so this is peer-led, which I'm really excited about. And its residents have led this whole design, that they've fed in, we need this, we need that. Even to Christy, you need to buy a tea urn. They've told me everything, you know, like get this, get that, we need this, we need that. So this is completely led by residents, but all the hard work of writing the grant bids was done by me and all the Amazon ordering. But I feel like I've just done all the secretarial duties. Next slide, please, Charlie. I always say I'm just their secretary. So they will be, all the volunteers hosting on this were the guys that I worked with before in my steps role, plus a couple of extra people that they've brought into the fold. So it is really a peer-led volunteer shapers that are leading these sessions. What I'm very excited about is that we're going to be facilitating a system-wide focus group each month. So we've got a one partner, ELF, we've got different people coming in each month to do a system-wide focus group. So they'll be able to engage with this community and actually hear back from them on their experiences of whatever they're going to talk to them about. Super pleased about that, because it's really important that these voices not just looked after, but they're not just not heard as well. This is a big community that people just don't hear from and don't engage from, yet they use so many of the health and wellbeing services in the borough. So they're definitely a community that people need to speak to and get feedback from. So super excited about that. Already said that it's locals that are hosting. So next slide, please, Charlie. I won't be doing anything really. Feedback from last year. So this was the proven data that we had, that we could go to the grant funders, were that 4 out of 5 people, residents, were reporting reduced isolation, that feeling of connection, knowing, as Lucy and Gemma very rightly said, it's that regularity, that continuity. They know there's someone they can come to, it's somebody trusted. That automatically reduces isolation, because even if you only see people once a week, it's that knowing you can see those people once a week, it already changes your mental health for the better. 85% reported that they had much more increased access to support services that they didn't know existed before, and over 100 individuals impacted from improved wellbeing services, including 3 people that we found out had various types of bowel cancer and prostate cancer that had approached our doctor. We had a street doc on the stall last time with us, and through there, speaking to the street doc, symptoms were picked up, the GP made referrals, and all 3 were able to get cancer treatment for various types of cancer. So that was a really powerful outcome, and it was just speaking to a street doc that helped them do that. We will have the NHS involved again, so different people will be at different sessions, so everyone will have access to all of these services. Next slide, please, Charlie. So key takeaways for Rush Street. So residents truly understand their needs. We've already had the community run initiative. So backed by this turning point funding, we were able to deliver 16 for people, it's specifically for people struggling with addiction, homelessness and long-term mental health, and also criminal justice, should I say. I'm doing quite a lot of work with people that are coming out of prison and stuff like that as well, coming in for help moving into the borough. And I think that's it. Next slide, please, Charlie. I think that's it from me. That's it. Yeah, that's it. Any questions, anyone, really? That's it. Thank you for having me. Super excited to see you starting again. Thanks. Was I quick? I feel like I was quick today. I normally talk for England, so I'm really proud of myself.
You was taking 9 minutes, Krista.
Wow.
Almost much.
Okay, you've been back for once, Charlie. That's amazing.
Lucy, do you want to come in with your question?
Sorry, I was just going to ask, the Christmas lunch, is that this Christmas or
no,
Christmas
next Christmas? Next Christmas. Cool. So we're going to start planning it from now, because obviously it's a big plan. So we needed to secure the money in advance. I'm very lucky that I've got a hall that can facilitate it. But I will be shouting out in my newsletter to local working partners. So if anyone wants to come together and join forces, I'm just super excited that we're able to bring this back to Hackney, because it's something that the borough needs so much. And nobody else is doing it. So super excited about that we got the news that actually we can start planning this as well now. So I can't believe I'm talking about Christmas 2026 and I'm simultaneously planning for Christmas 25 at the moment. But yeah, it's in the bag. We can start working on it on January now. So yeah, I'm super pleased about it. I'm more than happy to partner up. Lucy, if Hackney Quest want to be involved, it'd be great. Yeah. Get all your young people in for the day to come and help.
Marcella?
Yeah, thanks. Thank you, both Hackney Quest before and Krista. This is absolutely incredible. I've done quite some work with homeless people as well, and I think this is absolutely amazing. If I was based in Hackney, I would definitely come and help. So let's see, maybe by next December.
Yeah.
Who knows? Who knows? And I'll drag my family with me. But I guess it's just, I remember you mentioned something about someone doesn't have a phone. And I think we talked about this before in the sessions, but if you're not registered with the Good Things Foundation, I would encourage everyone to register.
I gave him a SIM for his laptop.
Okay. We have some phones now, so we are not promoting this.
He doesn't want one.
Okay.
No,
okay. Yeah, it's just I remembered we have some
phones
now.
Thank you. I tried. Yeah, he didn't want a He took. He's got a very old school landline. He's an older gentleman with complex multiple disadvantage. So yeah, I'll speak to him. But I didn't know we could refer to that lovely guy. So that's great. That's great for me to know. So thank you.
Do we have any more questions for Krista? This is great that we're developing this offer, Krista. You're going to be busy.
Yeah.
Run off the feet for you.
I'm always busy, Charlie. What is life if I'm not busy?
Exactly. Abby.
Yeah, it's phenomenal. It's exciting that it's coming back and just how it was shaped too, Krista. It's amazing. I was just thinking about your question of who might want flyers, who might want them hard copied or digital. And I'm seeing Alex. I don't mean to call you out. I see your camera's off, so maybe you're in listen mode. But have you been in touch with Food Bank? Just thinking about that.
I'm more than happy. I speak to Lara and Alex and
brilliant.
Anna a lot. So Alex, if you want me to get some hard copy flyers down to you guys, I can jot them down to Wally Foster for you lot to distribute anytime. And Charlie, I've got a load coming to the service centre tomorrow at some point when I go past. They're going out in various places across the borough. And if anyone thinks of anywhere else really good that we can put them, just let me know. I put them in the hostels, stuff like that. But the volunteers know where they need to go, so they've sort of taken them in piles and gone off to deliver them to the places that they go to. So yeah, I know somebody's been going around the churchyards and stuff like that and delivering them out every night and stuff. So definitely getting out there. Yeah. But thank you. Anyone, just let Charlie or me know anytime, and I'll get them distributed. Thank you. Yeah, thank you, Abby. That'd be great. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Please drop them off.
So drop it off, Alex, yeah?
Yeah.
No problem. I'll bring you some down like Monday or so, yeah? Because I'm not in the office tomorrow. All right, so I'll bring some down Monday, yeah? All right, no problem, hon.
Happy I'm alive.
No worries. I'll put it things. Thank you, my lovely.
I'm assuming, Krista, you've already got some in libraries.
Yeah, but if you could get a digital one out to libraries, that would be good for me, because I haven't got all the digital email addresses, so that would be good, maybe.
Well, this is the perfect segue, because our next presenter is Emma Winch from libraries. Emma, you want to present?
Enter, please.
Yeah, and I was saving my kind of questions and comments to wrap up quickly with this. So yes, please send them to libraries. We've got digital screens in libraries as well, so we can have a digital flyer. But we've seen a surge in people experiencing homelessness and using temporary accommodation in our libraries all day, using the toilets to have a wash in the morning, shaving. We definitely noticed the lack of provision around Hackney, so it's really good to know that you're doing something or helping to provide something.
If you can share your email, Emma, or share it, I can send it out to you and it can get shared. No problem. I'll drop that. No problem. Thank you.
That's all right. Shout out to Quest as well. We've just had one of your mentees has just done a kind of very informal work experience program at the archives and has gone from doing pretty badly in his exams and not knowing what he wanted to do to working with I'm in the archives today working with my colleagues here every Friday, and he's now decided to go back to college and he's going to go to college, and we're really proud of him. We love him, and we love Hackney Quest and Luke and the work that you guys do. Anyway, shall I do my presentation now?
Yeah, if you'd like to, Emma, do you want me to
present? Should I do it? I
Or
think I've got it here, yeah. Mine's a kind of whizzy one, you'll be pleased to know. So I'm hoping it's easier if I do it and then I can just do the whizzing. Oh no, is that just a blank screen?
It does look to be.
Okay, let me try this.
We can see that now.
Yeah, and let me turn it into a presentation. Yeah, so okay, so it's not my presentation, but I'm going to do my best. I'm stepping into someone's day. So it's quite a sweet presentation. It makes me feel festive. So I'm here to talk about libraries. I'm really proud to talk about libraries. We have 8 of them in the borough. 2 of them are closed at the moment for refurbishment, but that means 6 of them are open, and they're open over Christmas and through the winter. We have a 7-day-a-week service across libraries. Not all of our libraries are open on Sunday, but 2 of them are. And I'm hoping this is just a refresher for everybody of what we do. But we have expanded our programme since COVID to include lots of other council offers and offers with partners. So just making sure that you know all of the things that we do in libraries that are available for your residents. And I think the next slide is just lots of words that show all the things we do. So we do comic clubs for young people, Lego clubs, chess, writing groups that are free to join at every library. Energy advice, we work with Scope Disability Advice Team who come to 3 of our libraries. We have queues out the door for that advice. CV writing, employment and skills. I'm going to talk through some of these things in my presentation. If I can work out how to change the next one. There we go. So books, obviously, books are really important, and one of my jobs, although I work across libraries, culture and heritage, I've spent a lot of time over the last 2 or 3 years working with other services to bring services into libraries. But one of the things that I work really hard on and I'm really passionate about is not losing the core function of libraries, literacy is so important. So in all of the schemes that we run, we try to have a kind of library element or a literacy element, or try to encourage people to pick up a book or to get back into reading, or to read about a different cultural experience or something that they might not have, you know, thought about before. So we're constantly reminding people that we don't just want to deliver the council services out of libraries, that it's really important to keep that core offer there too. So we have books, audiobooks and ebooks. And I'm not sure that people really realise how many free audiobooks you can get using the library app. So we're trying to get that out to staff as well, because I know people pay for that. We don't have to pay for it if you join Hackney Library Service. We have free Wi-Fi, computers and digital resources. We've got 250 computers, fixed computers in our libraries across the borough. They are always full every day. We've had a surge in computer use in the last year. It's gone up 38%. People use the computers to access council services, to apply for universal credit, to write their CVs, and the staff are around to kind of give people pointers, help them get online. And that's one of the biggest uses of libraries at the moment. We also have citizenship resources, driving test resources, again, all for free if you join the library. Every year we run Kind Coats, which is running for about 3 years now. So that's donate a coat if you've got spare coats that you don't need, or pick up a coat if you'd like one and need a warm coat. You can take any coat, you can take coats to any libraries. We all take part, apart from Woodby Down, which is our tiny volunteer library where we don't have room. All of our main libraries will be taking coats. And just to say, Hackney Central is going to be closed over Christmas because we're refurbishing it. I meant to say that at the beginning. Coffee mornings. We have coffee mornings at our libraries over the winter. We have board games for people that want to interact. We just have hot coffee and books for people that don't. We have kind of equal amounts of people that want to come and chat and socialise, but also our games clubs are pretty silent. Lots of men just being together and playing, but not necessarily talking, not even speaking the same language, but they're really nice spaces where you can kind of be alongside people but not have to do the nattering and the chatting that not everybody wants to do. Oh, here we go. This is a nice photograph here of our chess club at Homerton Library. So last year we had coffee mornings at Homerton Library, and 2 of the gentlemen said, can we start a chess club? That led to a chess competition. We had loads of applicants. It was really fantastic. And we had people who were homeless and living in temporary accommodation coming and joining in the competition as well. It like brought together a whole community of different people that use that library. But it was the idea of the men that come to that coffee morning, and we helped them get it off the ground. We're going to run another one this year because it was so popular. Lego clubs. Lego is really expensive. We have Lego clubs in most of our libraries. If you've been into Homerton Library recently, you'll see all the kids' Lego in the front window. It's so much of it that all the shelves are collapsing, so we're redoing the front window. It's really lovely, and our Lego clubs are really popular. They're usually after school or on a Saturday or Sunday. Families, young people, kids coming along, and fairly self-explanatory. I didn't need to explain that. But we have other clubs too. We have craft clubs, storytelling clubs, film clubs, all sorts of free activities for families. We've got a great partnership with Kings Park Moving Together, who are responsible for kind of looking at ways to get people more active and feeling better in the Hackney Wick Kings Park area of the borough. So we've worked with them to bring sessions into libraries. So we have accessible yoga. Sorry, there's a massive traffic down outside Dawson Library, and you might hear the horns going. We've got accessible yoga. We tend to have lots of older people come into that session. It's free. People say they come here because it doesn't feel like a Hackney yoga class. It feels welcoming and like the sorts of people you'd want to come to a kind of nice library-friendly yoga class. They don't push people too far, but there's lots of people kind of recovering and feeling really comfortable in those classes. We had a hip-hop dance class where people could come and learn hip-hop dancing, and we had quite a few people who were on crutches or just come out of hospital and used it as part of their recovery, which was really fantastic. Again, making friends in the library. We're now starting hula hooping classes with the Pembrey Hula Fun group. We're trying that out. We've got loads of people signed up for that. That's over at Homerton. I'm going to get to the lists of everything at every library in a minute. We have co-located advice and guidance in our libraries. So we have housing surgeries and ward counsellor surgeries in the libraries. We have digital buddy sessions with employment and skills in most of our libraries. We've got quite a few library officers who have recently volunteered to set up, because there's such a demand for it, more of those. So we're going to be advertising more digital drop-ins, particularly at Dalston Library starting next month. And that's helping people with their devices, helping people with filling in forms, things that people struggle to do and tell us that they need support for. We ran an employment and skills fair at Shoreditch Library last month with Skyway, and with the employment and skills team, we're going to be, or Hackney Works, we're going to be redoing that because it's the start of a little possibly an employment hub down in Shoreditch. And we also have our energy advice across some of the libraries too. Our welcome hub, which is taking place today downstairs in Dalston CLR James Library, which is for migrants, refugees and asylum seekers, to come and get advice from teams who can help them with housing, immigration, status, schools, and to get a cup of tea and a biscuit. And there's activities for children and books in different languages as well in the welcome hub. That's been going for about 18 months, and it's a real successful partnership between the library and the team delivering a frontline service out of the library, because there's always a library element in it each week, and we're really proud of it. Oh, hang on. Our community library service goes around the borough visiting people who can't get to a library. It's free, it's amazing. We have a resident that has 50 books a month, so they give us lots of work to do in preparing their bundle each month. We have a hospital round, we go to the hospice, we go to care homes, and we visit people in their homes. We also visit carers and people with disabilities. All they have to do is sign up, tell us about their preferences, and we will take books, audio books, jigsaws, and yeah, we tend to be able to offer most things because we take stock from the main libraries as well. But it's an amazingly special service that we're really proud of. And we have flyers for each library, which is basically a list of everything that's on at every library each day. I've included them in here. I'm not going to run through them all, but I've included them in here because I thought they might be useful for people if we share the presentation afterwards, with all the different film clubs and the knitting groups and the coffee mornings on them. So that's Dalston and Shoreditch, Clapton, Homerton and Stamford Hill. Here for you to have a look at. And I think that's it. We advertise all our events on North Hackney. We've got a community support and libraries page on North Hackney as well. And just a little shout out for a consultation which we just launched this week about reducing hours at libraries, which unfortunately we've been asked to do. The consultation is open for 13 weeks, and we would encourage people that need libraries, people that work with people that need libraries, to go and have their say on that consultation. There's different options. One of them looks at closing libraries in the evening. Some of them look at weekends when footfall is lower, but we really need to hear from people across the borough about how that's going to affect them, so that we can report back to Cabinet on the impact of those reduced hours so that they can make the final decision on that. So we really welcome you spreading the word about how people can have their say. And I'll send that out to the group actually, because it would be good for you to get the word out. Cool. Thank you. You can stop sharing. There we go. Charles.
Thank you, Emma. That was such an amazing run through of everything that libraries do. I just wanted to say, I'm aware of some of what you do, but it's great to have a reminder of seeing it all laid out and a reminder of how wide the service is. And just to say, Krista and I have been running some sessions with residents recently about kind of where to get support, and frequently libraries is top of the examples of where they know that they can get information and guidance on how to access support. So I thought we'd share that with you. And Krista, do you want to come in?
You literally said what I was going to say, that GPs and libraries are two of the most trusted places that any residents will go to for information that they trust and rely on. And libraries were 6 different focus groups so far, all completely mixed demographics, all different demographics. And it was amazing how actually not just with libraries, the themes were the same no matter the language or the person in the room. So residents do know what they're talking about. I stand by that. I was going to say, if you can get a survey link to me, I'm more than happy to share it out to all my resident remit as well and get that into group chats and stuff, because I know a lot of the baby chats that I'm in for the closet, the big groups or whatever, mums and that, they all use libraries a lot for like play and plays and book stuff, and that I see them talking about it. So more than happy to share.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, I'm going to post a link in the chat and then I'll send it.
While you do that, Emma, I was also going to take this opportunity to plug something that Eden asked us to talk about, but unfortunately isn't here today because they're running the Welcome Hub downstairs. But Hackney is in the process of becoming a borough of sanctuary. So if you're interested in talking to more about that team and all the great collaboration they do with libraries, Eden's asked for us to kind of share that information. So we'll put all the stuff from today's great session in the newsletter. I've just copied and pasted that from an email. I think that's the right bit. I see Abby's reading it. Is that the right bit? I think it is.
The right one. I was just looking to see if there's a link or something that would direct people to, I'm trying to remember if Eden sent that.
All right, bye, Krista. Thank you, everyone. I'm going to thank you for all of the presentations. Does anyone have any more questions for Emma? It's been a long day of presentation, so I'm sure we're all quite tired out, but thank you so much for the presentation. I'm going to bring today's session to Abby.
Yeah, just real quick before people log off, if you wanted to join the Welcome Hackney meeting next week that Charlie posted into the chat, it didn't copy over the link to the calendar invitation. I've just put that into the chat now. So that's on Tuesday at 3 p.m. Sorry, and it's not on Welcome Hackney, it's about the Borough Sanctuary Plan.
And thank you all for such a great session. Gemma, you're on mute.
Yeah, I'm so sorry, but I've just seen a message from a client, and I thought I'd quickly ask the question before everybody leaves. He's just stressed how concerned he is about firework night and if there's somewhere quiet or safe for him to go on that evening. Does anybody have any suggestions?
That is a good suggestion. I'll have a think, Gemma. Nothing comes immediately to mind for me, but we have a room full of expertise here. Does anyone?
I'm thinking somewhere with a downstairs, like Shoreditch Library. What night is firework night?
It's a Wednesday.
Yeah, so that's open till 8, and it's got a downstairs bit. I'm thinking
amazing.
Downstairs it's quieter, isn't it? Everywhere else is kind of.
Okay, which one was that, sorry?
Shoreditch Library.
Okay, perfect.
The study space, you could just walk downstairs because there's loads of comfy seats.
Okay, great.
8 though, but then I suppose you'd have to come back out again.
Okay, great, thank you.
And I will have a think as well, Gemma. I'll get back to you if anything else occurs to us.
Perfect, thank you, team.
And thank you everyone for a great session. I know it's been busy. I can't believe we were going to try and get another presentation in today as well. I don't think we'd have managed. We've been here till 6. But thank you everyone. Hope you all have a great evening. We'll share all of these resources in the poverty reduction newsletter. If there's any particular things that you wanted to follow up on, anyone you wanted to be connected with, just drop us a line and we can always introduce you to different partners across. That's what we're here for. I'm going to stop the recording, but enjoy your evenings, everyone. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Take care.